Okay, so we're going to do the Cadimage Windows. I'm just actually going to delete these ones. Oh, maybe I will keep them actually. Let's keep those ones. We're going to put a new wall in over here, right? So I go to my Windows, and what we want to do is, like normally you'd be on something like this, Cadimage Library, Cadimage Window. And it says it's kind of got three modes here, but really we just want this parametric design. In fact, I'm going to show you. You'll actually notice, see up here, that's all it's doing is hiding settings. Okay, so the parametric one gives you all of the settings. Quite often I like to start off with that one, just gets rid of a lot of settings you don't really want to see. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now we should have some rough measurements, makes it a hell of a lot easier, but I kind of know what they are, I think. So I'm going to draw one of these windows, right? So you can see there is no normal window that has this arch at the top, louvers, and then another window and a sill and all that sort of carry on. Okay, and you're going to see that a lot in old buildings, you know, just like these weird windows that you can't buy anymore. So you probably won't find anything similar in here. But the Cadimage window builder will build any window you could possibly imagine. It's quite cool. Alright, so let's just set up the basic dimensions. So I'm going to make this about 1800 high, I suppose. Is that too high? I can't remember what I made it this morning. 900 wide. Cool. And I don't know, how high is it? About 600 off the ground or something like that. Doesn't really matter at this stage. Alright. The shape. So I'm going to start off with set out shape. The top is an arch. Cool, so there's my arch. This is just to do with the proportions. Okay, so if I made this like 1,000, it's gonna, oh no, it's not even gonna do that. Let's go 200 then. There we go. Oh, that's because of the width. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm making that top more shallow. 300 looks about right, eh? Maybe a little bit more. I suppose it's almost 90 degrees, so in that case it would be 450, because 450 would be half of the width, which would make it perfectly circular. Alright. The dimensions. Now, I've got three panes here, so I've actually got an upper and a middle and a lower, if you like. So I'm going to set this at, let's say, 400. Cool, so see I've got an extra plane in there now, and this bottom one to 400 as well. Oh no, it needs to be more than that, let's say 600. 700. That's looking about right. Cool. Obviously the more measurements you've got, the less guessing you have to do. So I've got my basic shape, that's cool. Let's go to glazing. So now you can see here's my window, and I've just got fixed planes here and here, but in the center I've got louvers, and if we go flying down all through here, there are louvers. Cool. And we've even got the size of these louvers. So what have we got? 5 panes in there. I've got not quite that, so let's go 120. Still not quite right. That's looking pretty good. Excellent. I can also choose the types of glass. This morning we made a rough glass, although it's not there, but we'll do that shortly. Alright. There's also things like doors and stuff like that, but we aren't a door, so it doesn't really matter. 1,000,001 other types of settings. Most of them you probably won't be interested in. However, we are interested in exterior trim, and we've got a sill, and we want a brick sill like this. And our dimensions, so here we can see all our different dimensions. We want to make it stick out probably about 150 mil. Okay, you can flick it in between. Okay, you can see obviously it needs to be a lot thicker. So So this 35 probably wants to be about 150 as well, maybe. Or maybe 100. 100 looks about right. Cool, so now I've got that all working quite nicely. The angle, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 25 degrees. Cool. That's looking about right. What the overhang is on the end, see this little overhang we've got going on? So that's this overhang here, we've got an 80mm overhang. Actually, it's probably not far off actually, maybe a little bit less. 50, and there's actually one for each side. So 50-50. We have a look in here. Now this is what it was doing to us this morning as well, which is just, oh no, sorry, I've gone and changed the wrong one, that's why. That's 50. That's the thickness of bricks, but we haven't got any bricks anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So I've got a 50mm overhang on each end. Now I've also got this brick going around the top. So that's a head moulding. We want a rectangular profile. Cool, we've got that happening now. We can also get it to overhang a little bit. See, at the moment it's just stopping there. I'm going to get it to overhang by 80mm. No, 50mm. That's looking pretty good. That should line up with my bricks that I'm doing in the wall profile. Remember, we've got that brick that runs around there, that line. We want it to kind of like join up to it, hopefully. Oh, we've also got this. This is the way that it kind of wraps around. So if we go and embed it in the wall, it looks quite different to if it's the surface mounted return ends. See, it's kind of got. Yeah, it's changing that shape. So we actually want it like that. So it's got these square ends. We were playing around with it before to try and make it totally square. Good luck. We got pretty damn close, but couldn't quite get there. Because if you go too far, it starts to do weird things. Like if I go 80, you'll see it goes, yeah. Just go 200, you'll see it goes, and does really odd things. So if we said 70 maybe, looking pretty good. And that should actually join up anyway eventually with, whoops, with this anyway, so it should look alright. Anything else? Exterior trim. We have actually got a little bit of exterior trim, so we'll just pop a rectangular. Whoa, that looks ugly, doesn't it? Why is that coming all the way down like that now? It is a little bit of a fiddly job. How bizarre. Oh, there we go. Hey, it's hitting it square now. You see all of these numbers are all related to each other in some way. Whoa. And it is easy to break it. And that's looking pretty cool. Anyway, let's go with that. Oh, actually, sorry, no, one thing I want to change is the material of my trims and my... Here we go, trim to the top one, I think it is. Brick aged. Yeah, so that's that bit there. Cool. Okay, let's pop that into this window over here. And that's my one over here. Yeah, looking pretty good, except for it's exactly the same brick as... And I've got too much angle on there. That looks terrible. Let's change that to red brick. Exterior trims, where are we? Blah, 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 blah. Head moulding. No, sorry. Still, that angle there, maybe 15 was a good idea. No, not looking too bad, eh? Don't seem to have louvers in there. Or is it just not rendering? Let's go Control 0, because I set up a render. Oh yeah, you can see the louvers in there. Oh, see, this is sticking out. We don't want that sticking out. Let's close that. Let's Command T. So that was on my head moulding. Ah, there, see it's sticking out 40mm. I'm going to make that. I want to stick it out a little bit, just so it kind of protrudes. I'm going to change it to 10mm. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? And that broke it a bit, which looks like it's actually the... Here, something like that. 5mm. There we go. Still looks a bit rough. But it's obviously it's this exterior trim here that's not doing a very good job. Let's make that 40mm. I've got a gap in here now. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? Really, it should be 80. I don't quite get why it sticks up like that though. All sides, top and left. Let's just go base, left and right. That's interesting. What does this option do? No idea. What does this do? Best way to find out what these things do is just to play around with it. That's adding a gap. I don't want that. Oh, I see. Maybe if I stick about 15mm in there, will that? Maybe that will fix it up. There we go. So once you've got it about right, excellent. Now, once you've got one, I'll show you, there's a couple of ways of saving this. Of course, you could just leave it in there. If you want another one, you can option click it and then, you know, paste another window in there. Or in here, it has actually got the ability to save these settings. See, so here's the ones I did this morning. And if you haven't got these, I think, actually it has two windows, so I've already gone and created this already. It has a folder, and so you can have different folders for, I don't know how to create a new folder. But it has a folder anyway, so I've called this building 1. So if I had like, you know, several buildings, I could have like building 1 and then all the windows saved for that. So I'm going to go this window 2. These are all the settings that it's going to save. So I'm going to say, well, actually save everything. You save all of the settings. Do I want to include a list of sizes? No, I don't. Oh, here we go. Here's the folder, so I could create a new folder. I'm not interested in creating a new folder, but this is going to be called Window Demo 2. Oops, caps lock is on. Anything else? Default code for a custom size? No, don't care. Save. Also, there's window 1 and there's window 2. Like somehow window. See it? Now, I don't know why it's doing that. There's obviously some setting is getting missed, which sucks. But I'm just going to cancel that. There's another way of saving windows as well, which for anything that you do in ArchiCAD, you can save these favorites as well. There's lots of ways of saving this. It's just up to you how you want to do it. And that should save all of the settings as well. See, and it saved it. I find that favorites is quite good. You could also just have like a funny little wall sitting off to the side with all the different windows in it that you've created. You can option click that to pull the settings out and go and put more of those windows in if you like. Now, once you've created one of these windows, right? So now I can create other ones, because you'll notice that I think the windows upstairs are a little bit different. It's kind of got 3 panes and I think 2 panes above it. So then we just go into here, go to our set out. Glazing. Oh, sorry. First thing is let's make it bigger. So it's about 1800 wide at least. Okay. And now I can actually split this in two and start having a good old play with it. So I think it hasn't got this actual split thing going on. So how do we get rid of that? If I go to my dimensions, right, I don't want this one, so I'm going to go 0. We've got rid of that bottom plane. This is just a fixed plane, and it's got, I think, 3 down the bottom and 2 up the top. Cool? Just like that. It's still got the same sill and the same brick and all that sort of carry on, which is quite nice. And if I wanted to change any of these, so I think, maybe they've got like, louvers in the center one. Not a problem, we can do that. Okay, so I've got louvers in the center one and plain glass on the other sides. You can actually even change the material, so maybe the louvers are made with frosted glass, which there isn't a frosted glass, so I'm going to make one just like this one up here. I need to drag my window, don't I? There we go. Cool, and there's my new window. With my crazy frosted glass that I made earlier. Which is this thing that looks a bit weird because the sun's shining right on it. Alright. I'm sure there's lots of questions. But the best way to learn this window builder is to just play around with it. You'll actually notice as well, there's actually a couple of little settings in here. See these little pink dots? You can actually adjust a few things. See, so I can actually pull down the side of the window. I think there should be one. Yeah, it pulls down the center. I have no idea what that does. Yeah, so there's actually a few little settings you can change in here and do it visually. Although doing the thing visually usually ends up a bit of a dog's breakfast. Cool. But yeah, it's a very, very powerful tool. And if you ever like doing your own house, as you can see, we've kind of got quite a shopping mall for windows in here now. Window. So if I just reset this, I think that window NZE is just the square window, it goes back to normal again. But you'll see that there's all sorts of crazy shapes you can come up with in here, It's really cool. Don't press 3 zone, enter. Yeah, dimensions and there's glazing. Maybe that's not changing. Ooh, a Gothic arch. Rounded corners, with the Gothic arch at the bottom. Yeah. So then I can split it and do left hung and right hung. I have no idea how that window is going to work. Actually, that would have to be left hung, wouldn't it? And then that one would be right hung. I don't know how you open these windows actually. I'm assuming you can open them. Oh, here we go. Yeah, is that for a cool window? I don't know how you'd make that window, but it doesn't matter. That has got to be one of the coolest windows ever. So yeah, so you're only pretty much limited by your imagination. So you can isn't that so cool? I just love it. I think it's the coolest tool ever if it is a bit cumbersome. Double hung, left hung, louvers. There's also panels, so it can just be like a solid panel made of bronze. Oops. But yeah. Cool.